Hello, long time I've since I've done a motorcycle video, so I thought I'd do one today. My bike needs an oil change. I've needed one for the last couple of months, but it's only today that I've been able to get the oil for it. We've got the Yamaha Dragstar 650 Classic. The tools you're going to need for this is your basic sprocket set. This is absolutely a must. I'm not kidding. If you're doing any job with a bike of this weight and you don't have one of those, you're going to have difficulty. You may even damage your bike. I've had the bike fall on me because I've not had one of those. The other thing that you're going to need is some of this. I'm doing a full oil change, but I'm not doing the filter. Just a basic oil change. I've got Super DX4 4-stroke motorcycle oil. See, it only cost me 22 quid. How much does it cost? I've got about, what, 4 litres there. I won't need it all, but it's always good to have a little bit of a top up spare. Right, on the bike itself, let's get under. Right, what we're playing with on the bike, when you look down, Yamaha, in all their wisdom, have put the oil check in the most stupid position ever. This bike has to be on a level surface and you have to hold it upright. Well, with the stand, you can't do that, so you've got to mess about, which is why I say one of those stands are an absolute must. So the intake is just here, as you can see. Not the intake, the measuring, the guide is just there. And that's your problem. You can't actually see anything in there at all, and it's in the most awkward position. The next bit you need to be aware of is the bolt we are going to be undoing to drain the oil is, where are we? That one there. Okay, that's to drain the oil. You notice the bike is on its side stand at the moment. That's because it drains the oil the best on this bit. This is the bottom of the sump, and at an angle it drains the best. So we're going to undo that. And then for the refill, you've got this here which unscrews. It might be a good idea if you can get some kind of you can get measuring devices that actually just screw into there, that are probably a lot easier than what Yamaha have provided. But apart from that, those are the 3 things that you're going to be dealing with. So it's just a matter of changing the oil. First of all, warm up your engine. Now, I've already been on a 15-minute spin, so my engine is quite warm at the moment. Do this because what it does is it lowers the viscosity of the oil, makes it drain better. You're also going to need an oil pan, which I'm going to go and get mine, and I'm also going to get my tools out. Right, here we go. As you can see, I've got somewhere to drain my oil into. I'm also using a size 17 spanner. I've already loosened the nut so I can get to it. There's nothing leaking at the moment. Remember, the engine is still warm, and therefore everything's going to be quite hot to the touch. There we go. And out. Might be a good idea to wear some gloves for this. A little bit of splash. But anyway, make sure you're catching the oil bath. I think it's my oil bath, the awkwardness of it. Let it all drain out. But it's nice to know I didn't actually lose all my oil. I thought I had an oil leak, I was losing oil. But it's a lovely dark colour, which is what we're trying to get rid of. We want a nice clear colour for our oil. Let that drain. Leave that for a couple of minutes to let it all drain out. Right, just to show you what's happening. You can see the oil draining away. It's very difficult. It's very awkward to work on there, but the bolt is there. But as you can see, there's oily oil, quite a lot of it. That's always a good sign. There's a bolt in there somewhere. Don't worry about that. We'll fish that out in a minute. But just let it drain. Now, you're also, good idea, always have one of these. Haynes or any of the other makes, but always have a manual, because what we're looking for is how much oil we want to put in. So engine, that's on the 1100, we're looking at 16 at the 650. blah 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 blah, torque settings, recommended lubricants, capacity with filter change 2.8 litres, oil change only, which is what we're doing. So we need to put in, we can get that to focus. It's not going to focus. It does say oil change only 2.6 litres, and that's what we're going to put in. Right, I'm happy with that. It's now down to a drip. What we're going to do, it's going to constantly drip anyway, so what we're going to do, let's find our bolt, which is swimming around in, oh, that's warm oil. And move the bath as quickly as can. Pop that on. Now remember, you're working with a lot of hot stuff. There is a torque setting for this, but I just do it tight. I'm quite good at guessing these things, so. Never ever use that end of the spanner when you can use that end. Never. Always have one of these. There we go. That's tight, that's done. Make sure you don't get that on your garden, it wrecks it. Right, so I've now done that bit. I've levelled it up. On these, you're lucky to have a guide. Now, I always find it useful to put it on a flat surface. Right, place this on the level. 4 litres is actually about there. So take into account they always put a little bit extra in there. So we're looking at back 1.2.6. We'll say it's about 0.6. So we're looking at about that mark there. So if we count that as 4, or we'll count that as 4, we want to put about 2.6 to 2.7 in. So we count back 1, 2.5. And with the amount we got there, it's about 2.6.5. So we'll say about there is our mark. It doesn't have to be accurate. Just generalisation, just make sure you get plenty in there, but you don't overfill it. And you can get away with it a little bit. Doesn't have to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to pour it in until we hit that mark there. Right. Take that off and put that somewhere safe and make sure there's no dirt in it. So clean it off if you can. Put that somewhere safe. Now, the great thing about these is the way they're designed. You can actually get a funnel and use the funnel. So you've got your funnel. There's a little thing in there that you need to pull out. There we go. And then you can just pour it in, but it's very, very awkward. So we're going to put in, cleaned it up a little bit. That one fits in there. That's it, that'll do. I'll get it in. So you can see. Let's pull you back a bit. There we go. Okay, just top it up. I'm happy with that. Right, that's that done. I've got to the level. It's just a little bit above it. And save whatever you got left. Pop it all back, because it's always good to have something left over for top up. That's that done. make sure everything's clean, pop it back in, and congratulations, you've just done an oil change. Right, oil, new oil. I always put a date on the oil, so what's today's date today? Don't care, but it's July, what is it? July 2011. Put a date on there so I know that this is the freshest oil I've got. And then we'll do the next bit. Right, as you can see, I've got a gloopy mess. What we're going to do is, you never throw your oil down the drain. Never dispose of it in your bins. Take it down a tip, take it down to an oil recycling place, and they'll dispose of the oil for you because it's classed as hazardous waste. I don't know. I actually use all the oil that I take out the bike. Best thing to do is that I recycle mine. You can burn it if you've got the right equipment. I do use mine for things like oil baths and things like that, so gloopy mess. Look how black that is. Here you can get things like a waste oil burner, which basically you can use to heat things like your shed or your garage. You can even make them, they're that easy to make. That's the last of it. I'll get the bits in the end. I'll be using that bath again. Now, as I said, dispose of this responsibly and safely. And so I don't get mixed up with my new oil. Take a pen. Old used oil. Here you go. Old used oil. God, it's got up in 2 quid since I last bought some. Anyway, that's your job done. Just make sure you make everything tight but not over tight. We've already checked the bottom one. No leaks from it. Let's have a look. There we go. Nothing leaking in that bolt, so it should be fine.